What if one of the most difficult journeys in the world is happening quietly? Right in front of everyone. No dramatic crisis. No obvious struggle. No public breakdown. Just something far more complicated. The emotional weight of growing up while carrying expectations larger than most people can imagine. Because while Princess Leonor's life may seem extraordinary from the outside, palaces, ceremonies, global attention, a future crown, perhaps another reality quietly exists behind the royal image. A journey filled with pressure, sacrifice, responsibility, and difficult emotional challenges. Today, we're exploring one important question. What truly makes Princess Leonor's journey so difficult? Because sometimes the hardest paths are the ones people assume must feel easy. Let's explore. Her future may have been decided long before adulthood. Most people slowly figure out who they want to become. Dreams change, paths evolve, mistakes happen, choices remain open, but perhaps Princess Leonor's situation feels very different. From a young age, enormous responsibility may already have followed her. Future queen, public figure, national symbol, leadership preparation. Perhaps one emotional challenge begins with something difficult. Knowing parts of your future already feel decided. That alone could feel overwhelming. Because maybe one truth quietly follows extraordinary responsibility. Freedom sometimes feels different when expectation arrives early. The pressure of always being watched. Imagine knowing people constantly notice everything. Every appearance, every speech, every expression, every mistake. Public life rarely allows invisibility. Perhaps one difficult challenge Princess Leonor quietly carries is constant observation. The pressure to appear confident, prepared, strong, composed, even during difficult moments. Because maybe one emotional truth feels universal. People still have hard days. Even when the world expects perfection. And perhaps carrying pressure publicly makes those moments harder. The struggle between duty and personal life. Here's another emotional possibility worth considering. What happens when personal dreams meet responsibility? Ordinary experiences, privacy, freedom, relationships, personal choices. Perhaps Princess Leonor sometimes faces difficult questions many young people never consider. How do you balance personal happiness with national expectation? How much of yourself belongs to duty? How much remains yours? That emotional tension alone could feel complicated. Because perhaps one painful truth quietly follows royal life. Sometimes responsibility asks for sacrifices others never fully see. King Felipe likely understands the road ahead. Here's something deeply emotional to think about. Perhaps King Felipe understands Princess Leonor's struggles better than almost anyone. After all, he once carried expectation too. Preparation, responsibility, public scrutiny, the emotional weight of representing something larger than yourself. Maybe because of that experience, he quietly recognizes moments of pressure others overlook. And perhaps one quiet role matters deeply. Helping Leonor prepare for challenges without losing herself emotionally. Because understanding often becomes powerful support. Queen Letizia may worry about the emotional cost. What if Queen Letizia quietly worries about something deeper? Not preparation, but emotional well-being, pressure, stress, loneliness, the hidden weight of expectation. Mothers often notice struggles before others do. Perhaps she understands something important. Strength matters, but emotional balance matters too. And maybe one quiet fear follows her. Making sure Princess Leonor never feels trapped by responsibility. Because maybe happiness matters just as much as preparation, growing up under extraordinary expectation. Here's something people sometimes forget. Princess Leonor is still growing up. Learning, changing, discovering herself, just like anyone else. But perhaps doing all of that publicly feels very different. Mistakes become headlines. Growth becomes visible, private moments feel limited, and maybe one difficult truth quietly follows extraordinary lives. Growing up becomes harder when millions are watching. That emotional reality alone could feel exhausting. Why stories like this feel so relatable? People connect emotionally with stories like this because pressure feels universal. School pressure, family pressure, work pressure, expectation, responsibility. Everyone understands difficult journeys. Those feelings happen everywhere. Inside palaces, inside ordinary homes. Because one emotional truth feels familiar. Sometimes people quietly carry more than others realize. And perhaps that possibility makes Princess Leonor feel more relatable than expected. Maybe the hardest part is finding balance. But perhaps here's the deeper challenge. Maybe the hardest part isn't responsibility itself. Perhaps it's balance. Balancing duty with identity, pressure with happiness, expectation with freedom, strength with vulnerability. Because maybe one truth matters most. Even extraordinary futures still require ordinary emotional support. Family, understanding, people who remind someone they matter beyond responsibility. And perhaps that support makes difficult journeys easier to carry. The human side people sometimes forget. Sometimes people focus only on titles. Princess, future queen, royal appearances, tradition. But beneath all of that still exists something deeply ordinary. A young person trying to grow. Trying to understand life. Trying to carry expectation. And perhaps one emotional truth feels hardest to ignore. Even someone preparing for a crown may quietly struggle with fears, pressure, and uncertainty like everyone else. So, what truly makes Princess Leonor's journey so difficult? Perhaps pressure, expectation, sacrifice, responsibility, the emotional challenge of growing up differently from almost everyone else. But maybe one hopeful truth matters too. Difficult journeys often create extraordinary strength. What do you think? Could Princess Leonor's path feel harder than most people realize? Or do you think royal preparation makes the journey easier? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal stories, hidden truths, and fascinating discussions.